All right, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Lemmy Moore here with Saturday Cup of Joe with Bill as well. You're going to see Bill and things in the background. He's driving. He was coming back from a concert last night. I think he said Garth Brooks or something like that.
Yes, yes.
But it started at 10:30. It was held in Buffalo, New York. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
Bill is a trooper, let me tell you. Buffalo, New York. He's like, we gotta go. 10:30 at night. He got home probably around 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning. Who knows? But whatever.
Yeah,
Or maybe he's still driving. 2:30. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. I really appreciate you joining us and actually watching the replay as well. We have a special guest today for you. He's already been started. He had me laughing early as soon as he got on. Some of you guys are not probably familiar with Mr. Tim Parker. He is an awesome leader in the industry. He has a lot to bring to the table. If you have not, well, let's just put it this way. Just get ready. Get ready. With that being said, Tim, what's up, man?
Good morning. I had to go out and get my sunglasses out of that shirt you got on, brother, about to blind me here this morning. It's too early.
Hey, the future is bright, so I want to make sure your eyes are wide open and ready. You know what I mean?
No question about that.
Oh, my goodness. Tim, tell us where you're calling from.
Well, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've lived all over the country in many different places, D.C., Florida, but Charlotte is home, and I don't believe I'll be moving from Charlotte.
Oh, awesome. So you grew up there as a kid as well?
Yeah, about 30 minutes outside of Charlotte proper, yeah.
Uh-huh. Are you still connected with your old friends or your old stomping ground and things like that?
No, not so much, Lim, because I have lived in different areas of the country and kind of went a different path than I came from a very small town, and I just chose a different path than most of the people there.
I hope that's a good path.
It is a good path.
Because that was going to be my next question is, how were you as a kid, Tim? Because you're a firecracker right now, let me tell you.
Well, Lim, I'm the oldest.
There you go.
I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and
Oh, wow.
and when I grew up, basically, you had the charge, of your siblings, and a little bit
Right.
different world now. And as a young man, I figured out pretty quickly that if I was going to grow and have a chance to be successful in life, it wasn't going to be in that small town. As a matter of fact, it really hasn't changed much from the time that I grew up as a child.
Oh, wow.
And I started working, bagging groceries at a local store. I think I was 13 or 14, and really from there, I've been working since that time, and I wouldn't know any other way to do it. I love what I do, and I've had a choice a couple of occasions in my life to basically do nothing. But the last time I did it, I sold a group of dealerships I owned 17 years ago, and I swear that I was going to go and play golf the rest of my life. I didn't last 30 days. And, I started the company, my primary company I own now, in lead generation for automobile dealers, and I've been very blessed and fortunate that I've maintained the #1 spot for that for many years now. And the last 3 years in a row, more than 20,000 dealers across the country have voted my company #1 lead provider in the space. So I've tried to parlay my knowledge and experience over the years. My company has built, operated, and owned over 500 consumer auto finance sites in the 17 years we've been doing this. We've generated probably at least 3 times the number of leads, but we've actually physically delivered a little over 8 million of these leads across the country to dealerships all across the country.
That's crazy.
So we know a little bit about building websites and SEO, and I know a whole lot about lead generation and a whole lot about pay-per-click marketing. And I decided about a year ago that I've always enjoyed building. I've sold 3 different businesses throughout my life, and I really enjoy the challenge of building something, and I really enjoy giving other people the opportunity to grow along with me. And so I put my mind to it. I actually initially started in, I guess you'd call it the offline arena,
Right.
just by looking for tools that might help me be more efficient. I'm a great believer in technology, and I know enough. I've got a world-class IT manager, but I know just enough to make him really nervous. When I come into his office, he knows that something's up, and I know just enough to ask the right questions to get things moving in my direction. So along the way, I thought that I'm very blessed that I've got a young, beautiful wife. It's my second marriage, and I've got two fantastic kids that I have responsibility to, and I'm actually trying to grow and build an offline empire. Something that I believe that their mom, who's an attorney by trade, she doesn't practice, but she's a lot younger than I am. And I know that, unfortunately, that I may not be here to see them where I want them to be. So I want to grow something that they can take and make their own. And I decided roughly a year ago when I started on this challenge of learning about the offline business, and I met some remarkable people, along the way. It's been very helpful, and I've tried to return that favor as much as I can, helping other people too, because I have found over my career that whatever you give, you tend to get back many times over. And I'm a firm believer in trying to help any way that I can with anybody that I can. And I've received a lot of help along the way too, on this journey that's just getting started. But on the offline stuff, I'm very thorough. I don't go out and just willy-nilly do things. So I did a lot of homework, a lot of research, and everything is primed. I've got a legion of offline niches that are beginning to hit now and will continue to hit. And one of the big things about this is I met that young man on the other end there, Bill, back earlier this year at a conference up in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think it was a Warrior Forum conference, something like that. And
yeah, it was. Yeah.
We met up there and became friends. And I think that Bill knows that if there's a question, the only rule I have about anything is don't ask unless you want to know. So as we go through the call today, anything that I can offer that might help somebody in this group, there have been many people that helped me along the way and continue to help me along the way, and I'd like to do whatever I can to give that back. But I've made it known, and this is just kind of the way I am. I don't want to say I'm cocky, but I'm confident. I've got a proven track record of success, and I'm approaching my local market. I intend to own the Charlotte, North Carolina major metro market in any niche of my choosing. And I've made it known I'm starting to kind of develop a bit of an approach where I don't know if I'm trying to call them out, but I'm making it known to HomeAdvisor that I'm here.
There
That's
you go.
awesome.
Yes.
And I don't want to take a bite out of their butt. I may not be able to get it all, but I'm going to get a pretty nice chunk here in Charlotte before I'm done with it.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow. I was like, what the hell is Tim doing? He's going through all my list here, and he's got everything I was going to ask him. I'm just going to sit back and listen. That's awesome, brother. That is awesome, man. I want to go back real quick because you said you used to bag groceries. Was there any job that you just hated? What was your worst job ever?
When I was, let me think, I think I was in about the 11th or 12th grade. My family, we didn't have a lot of money, and with two brothers and two sisters, it didn't go very far, and my dad was the only source of income. And in the little towns in the Carolinas, there are cotton mills where they manufacture cloth, and one of the things there, it was nasty, man. You have to clean up these machines. You wouldn't think about it, but they had these machines where as the threads and stuff were being woven. I mean, you come out of there, man, you're like you've been in a snowstorm. Those little, I can't remember what they are. They're a weed. It has those little white things on them. I can't remember what you call them. Anyway, you come out of there and you be covered up. You're like somebody sprayed you with them.
Wow.
It was just absolutely nasty and stinky. And the one thing that I think what drove me to what I am now is I learned a long time ago that I am not Harry homeowner. As a matter of fact, my beautiful bride, when we got married, I told her two things, and I've lived up to both of them. That the first one is that I snore, and the second is that I am not Harry homeowner. So, if you need something done at the house, you call somebody.
There you go.
I like that answer.
Yeah,
I figured out that I could get a lot more done with this up here than I could these here.
Exactly.
I'm just not a mechanical person, at all. And as a young man, again, I knew that the only way to get out of a situation was I was going to have to work my way through it.
Right.
And I was very fortunate that I met some good people along the way, and I was able to get an education thanks to Uncle Sam. And when I came out, I actually I had been accepted. I had applied to Duke University because I was in the Air Force, and I was in a program called the Physician's Assistant Program, which essentially you did everything that a doctor did except diagnose.
Wow.
I delivered at least one baby in the back of an ambulance going about 100 miles an hour. I've scrubbed on surgery. I've worked in the dental clinic, and I thought that was my calling. So when I got out, a friend of mine said that you need to make some money before you start school in the fall, and so he hired me in an automobile dealership as a finance manager. And when I got out of the Air Force, I'm dating myself now. I got out of the Air Force in 1973. I did get out. I got out early because of a special program, just as the Vietnam War had ended.
Right.
And basically, I'd already completed my education. I went to school. I graduated in 3 years from the University of Miami with a double degree, down there in business and psychology. And when I came out, I pretty well knew what I wanted to do. So my friend asked me to come in, and for whatever reason, I got lucky. I did really well. I actually was an E5, which is a staff sergeant when he came out of the Air Force. Back then, I think I was making, it was less than $600 a month. And when I came out, the first month in the dealership, I made like $2,500. I said, uh-oh. I better take a little better look at this thing.
Right.
And I applied and got an exception to start in the spring as opposed to that fall. And one thing led to another. And by that time, I'd already been made a sales manager in a dealership. And then I was making consistently, $3,000, $3,500, sometimes $4,000 a month. Back then, brother, that was some serious jack.
Yeah.
Money. So I kept working, and I was the kind of person that I was the first one in and the last one out at the business, and I treated it as if it were my own. And it was recognized, and I got opportunities. I ended up being able to buy in, to my first dealership. And one thing led to another, and I ended up either owning or partners in 8 franchises, here in the Carolinas. And
wow.
The business was an incredible business, but the only thing I didn't like about it was that at that point in time, the dealers themselves, and I can always say that because I always will be one, they started developing a relationship with their employees that wasn't to my liking. In other words, you'd have a superstar one month, and let's say that just for no reason of their own, they had a poor month. Well, in many cases back those days, they'd fire the bottom 2 people on the list, regardless of how it was.
Wow.
And they were constantly, we called it penciling people, that they were always screwing around with their pay plans. Anybody in sales in the dealership side, salespeople, sales managers, finance managers are all paid based on production. and a percentage of the revenues they bring into a dealership. And I don't know why the mentality was that the people did their job, and then the dealer would all of a sudden think, well, the typical story was, Lim, you did a great job last month. Man, I just can't afford to pay you that kind of money.
Yep.
And then they'd go out and hire some goofball that didn't have the skill sets, would come in, and the revenues would drop in half, and they couldn't figure it out. So that was the only thing that I hated about it, and the fact that I was maybe too dedicated to it, to be very candid with you.
Right.
I've always given 110% in everything I've done, and I literally was working, from 7 or 8 in the morning until 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and it's very stressful, on a family relationship. And,
oh yeah.
I can honestly say though that anybody that ever worked for me will tell you the one thing I never did was screw with anybody's pay. If I made a mistake, I live with it.
Right.
That's the way it was. And I still have people that haven't worked for me in 25 years occasionally call me up and want to talk about the old times and how fun it used to be, because we didn't have a lot of attrition at our stores. And that's one thing that car business in general is noted for, is the constant churning of the personnel. So the dealers brought it upon themselves that their employees, in general terms, had no loyalty, because it came from the top down to start with, and you might be a superhero this month, and then you're a goat next month, and you're out of here, and that affects people's family. And maybe, even though I'm a hard ass when it comes to business, to be very candid with you, I sincerely care about the people that work for me and their family situations. And maybe that's not the smartest thing, but you know what? I'm okay with it.
Right. We kind of have a few colleagues who are actually in the car dealing business, and I noticed that some of their employees, or them as well, move from place to place every 2 or 3 years or whatever. I didn't understand that, because I thought once they established their place in that business, then they were there. But, I mean, now that totally makes sense to me, how that works out, because some of that still goes on, believe it or not.
Well, it goes on. I don't know that it ever go away, unfortunately.
Right. Wow. Man, that's incredible. So you sold a few of your businesses, and what made you start getting into the offline part of this?
Well, lead generation is probably the lifeblood of my existing primary business, and the concept and the basics, aren't going to change. AdWords is a big part of that. I've spent well over $100 million in Google AdWords alone. That doesn't count, Bing and Yahoo.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I think is always kind of humorous about it, I've actually had Google from California in my office on 3 occasions in the last 6 years, and they fly out and take us to dinner.
Right. They should. When they're spending that much, you know what I mean?
Well, they come in, and at first they didn't understand my business model. And I have a somewhat unique distinction in that my agency, I'm fixing to tell a secret now.
There you go, come on.
My agency is only one of its kind that's certified by Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And because we went through the efforts, because I felt that in order to have some control over the quality of the leads that you're providing, you had to be involved in the actual generation of the product. And that's not the case in my industry. I'm the only company in the industry that guarantees each dealer in the nation an exclusive lead. Out of those 8 million plus we've done, we've never sold a lead to more than one entity in that. And I believe it has everything to do with the reputation that we've earned over the years. And it's my old hard head that thinks if you sell me something, it's mine. Don't sell it to somebody else.
Right.
And for years, they were doing this, and the dealers weren't catching on to it. And I basically pushed the envelope, and I said, listen, guys, look at your credit bureaus. All you got to do is go and look, and you'll see that 3 other dealers have already contacted the customer. How long does it take to figure it out? So now my competitors, they've been outed, so to speak, and they have to let their dealers know that this is a shared lead. It's not exclusively yours. And I think maybe it's called a few bumps along the way, but hey, you get what you get. Don't lie to people.
Right, right.
I literally get, on an average day, I personally get anywhere between 150 to 200 phone calls, because I do national speaking on my particular topic, and I'm fairly well recognized in the industry. And people when they call, they want to talk directly to me, and it's a challenge sometimes to be able to give them honest few free minutes. But I decided a long time ago, it's just my nature, Lim, that I just wear things on my sleeve, and I'm very direct. Sometimes maybe a little bit too much. I would not, if this is a PC world, totally, I'm afraid I wouldn't be here. I have a tendency to just tell it like it is, because I know that if I tell the truth, I don't have to worry about what I said to who, and I'm not going to have to record everything, so let me dial you in and find out what I told you.
Right.
I mean, the truth doesn't change. Sometimes truth is not nice. And maybe I could find a better way of presenting it sometimes, but I found that the truth has never caused me any issues. And I believe that people knowing the truth, they can deal with the truth, whether they need to make adjustments on their end or whatever. That's their choice. But I'm not going to give anybody misinformation in order to gain their business. I'm not going to do that.
Right. I find that so helpful, and I'm sure most people that are watching this do as well, because you never know what the situation is going to be 4 or 5 months down the road. And if you've talked to a particular business owner about your services, and you've gone in and you explain to them what you're doing, what you have done, and what has happened, and then someone else tries to come over and take ownership of what you've done, they're going to know, bottom line, that what you were telling them at the beginning, that it is what it is. Right. And then later on, they're going to come back to you and say, hey, I appreciate you being honest. Some of them might not like it, like you're saying. But you're not in the business of making people like you. You need to make sure you're giving them the honest truth about what you represent. And if you're able to do that, hey, that's just going to make you 10 times well known than the other guy, because there are a lot of things out there right now that guys will go just to get business. I see it, I hear it all the time. Some of the stuff I hear, and all of this, I'm going, are you kidding me? They told you that? I'm like, that's impossible, Right. But wow, that's awesome.
You wouldn't find a dealer in the country who's said that DealerLink has ever told them something that wasn't so. They might not have liked it at the time. Right. But I can tell you, I remember numerous times where, and we'll tell them right up front, if we don't have availability, we'll tell them right up front that we don't. And we'll get calls months down the road that they'll call us back and reiterate the fact they appreciate our honesty and candor and want to know if there's any way that we can do business together at this point in time. And I don't know if this says a lot about it or not, but I have the very first dealer who ever did business with me. And they're one of the largest of their kind in the nation. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. You are taking Charlotte to its ends. Wow, I love it.
Well, this dealer's in Arizona. Oh, yeah. So we're national. We're not just here in Charlotte. Matter of fact, we have very little business here in Charlotte by design. Most of our business is spread out across the country. And this is also something I thought would be very helpful to me in the offline world. Depending upon where someone lives and what their criteria is for what they need to earn to give their family the best they can, they may branch out and have to go farther. Well, in my experience thus far, I tell you, we have never in 17 years made a house call. We don't knock on doors. If we can't do it via the internet and via the phone, we don't do it.
Wow.
We're always getting dealers called, okay, can you send somebody out on Thursday? No. We can do a webinar, or we can do whatever you want to do, but we don't make house calls.
That's awesome.
And we're applying the same principles to the offline, because once I'm finished with Charlotte, I'm going to Raleigh. Right. Going to other places. But we are going to target it on a local basis, but I might be local North Dakota. It might be local San Francisco, but I'm doing it for Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right. So it was a no-brainer basically just to go and nationally because you were very successful where you were. I mean, how did that tie in together? Was it just like, okay, were people knowing what was going on in your area, or they just start seeking you out, or did you build a team around there just to start, getting other entities from all over the world, or how did that work out?
Well, one of the things that really helped a lot was I really try to give back to the automobile business any way I can.
Right.
That's generally done in the form of doing speaking engagements at conventions and seminars and stuff along those lines. And even though I could charge for it, I've never charged a penny for that. I do it of my own free will. And I try to help in education with that. And I find that once people have confidence and what you're telling them is the gospel, that they're going to come to you, and you're, I guess, recognized as an expert in that particular field. And so I think that getting back to the point of just being candid and honest with people goes a long way in many areas, Liv.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how many events have you actually been speaking on? I mean,
over the years, there have been hundreds. I've been doing it more on a regional basis now. I haven't done it. I see. The last one I did nationally was about 4 years ago at the NADA. I did something, but I've been doing it more on a regional basis.
Right.
And I've got a good friend who is the educator in all things. This area of the business, Lim, if you don't come from the car business, it's called special finance or subprime auto finance. Okay. And candidly, about 2/3 of the population require that kind of assistance. In other words, they can't walk into a local bank and get a loan for a car. They have to go through these other lenders that aren't available outside of going through a dealership. They aren't public. You can't just call them up and try to get a vehicle financed. You have to go through a dealership to be able to do it. And that's a huge percentage of the population, and the odds have always been in my favor there. And when I started doing my research here, I'll be very candid with you, I think with the various niches, if you just stop and think about it, just related to a home, forget about your doctors and dentists and all that kind of stuff. Look at all the things that are related to a home. And I'm really focused on what I've defined as the necessity niches.
Right.
In other words, if something breaks, you're going to get it fixed. If your roof leaks, you're going to get it fixed. If your dishwasher goes out, you get it fixed. If the wash machine goes out, you get it fixed. Heat and air conditioning goes out, you'll get it fixed. So no matter how bad the economy gets, to be very candid with you, the last downturn in the economy, I lost 50% of my business. Okay? That's some serious jack, I'm telling you. And I want to make sure that if and when, it's only a matter of time, that we go through that again, I don't want to lose 50% of my business. So I'm spending this time hopefully being productive and trying to build what I think is, I'm not much on cliches, but I believe that these offline niches are truly evergreen. And I don't think they're ever going to go away. And if that washer dryer breaks down or your roof's leaking, you're going to find that money somewhere to get it fixed, right? So that's why I call it necessity niches. Now, there ain't nothing wrong with hooking up with a doctor or a lawyer because that's where the big bucks are. If you're going to do it through the offline niches, you need to be in lead gen. Now, how you go about that, there's different ways to go about it. And certainly, you guys are incredible, with your Video Alpha stuff and remarkable. And I use those principles every single day. And I'm already making noise here in Charlotte. I went after a couple things that I thought were going to be pretty tough. The first video I did actually this past week is holding number 1, 2, and 3 spots. In things like look them up. Like HVAC leads, plumbing leads, legal marketing, attorney marketing, that type of thing. we're already getting some attention out there. And I did it, again, based on the principles of what you guys outlined in your video alpha here. And it's a remarkable product. I just hate everybody's getting to know about it now. I wish it were a little more of a secret, to be honest with you.
Right.
But it's the real deal. I experimented around like everybody else did with Hangouts back then, and the crappy quality and the skipping and jumping and all that kind of stuff. Man, if you want to present yourself as a professional, you just can't do that.
Right.
It just doesn't look good. But this is remarkable, and I'm anxious to see what the future holds and how they're going to enhance it, going down the road as far as what they're doing with YouTube Live and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely going to be a significant part of the lead gen business. And I'm taking maybe a little bit different approach than perhaps some of our listeners are here, in that I plan to own my properties.
There you go.
I'm gonna, and I'm the lead gen guy, and
right.
So I'm kind of struggling myself also about leasing a property. Not that I wouldn't, but I'll maintain rights to it.
Right.
I'm going to have my tracking number, and I don't remember and haven't seen if you guys have done much in the way of talking about tracking. I know you've got the Grizzly. But I'm talking about like phone tracking.
Oh yeah. That's a main.
Oh yeah.
Main thing for me because.
Well, yeah. I call it CYA, but I call it cover your butt rather than what I.
Right.
And basically, you are protected against somebody trying to run you under the bus.
Yep.
And anyone out there that's ever listened to phone calls of any business, exactly what I'm talking about. Man, if the owners could hear and know what is and isn't being said to their potential customers out there, it's just like having a bad operator in a dealership. That's the first impression that you get of the business is whoever's on the phone.
Right.
There's a right way and a wrong way to handle that, and I believe that it's an invaluable tool for the business owner to be able to use for training purposes of the employees. And he's probably going to identify, or she's going to probably identify pretty darn quickly, that there are people that either need to be retrained or shouldn't be on the phones because they're running more business away than what they're taking. And of course, I guess it goes without saying, if you need to tell anybody now they need to be mobile ready, they're already at lost cause.
I've said that to so many business owners, and their eyes and their mouths just drop like, we're not doing that. I was like, why are you not doing that? I mean, you could be losing calls like crazy because what if your employees wake up one day, they're mad because they had to come in on a Saturday, people are calling needing your services, and they're not giving the correct information. They sound like they don't want to be there. They're losing out, and then you call me and say, well, Lim, I'm not getting many calls, or my conversions stink. And I will go back and say, hey, let's go listen to the phone calls. Let's see what's going on.
Exactly.
That right there, they're like, oh, wow. And, man, you hit that round in there, brother.
Well, let me ask you this, both Lim and Bill, about this. One of the things that I've done that seems to be pretty powerful is I will, once I've got leads coming in, I'll set them up so that I'll pick out 3 to 5, depending upon the niche, businesses, and I let that do my prospecting for me. And what I'll do is I set it up so everybody's phone rings at once, and you're going to know really quick who's Johnny on the spot about answering the phones. Okay?
Right.
And I think a lot of people are intimidated by cold calling. Well, you can virtually eliminate that because it's not a cold call. Because you've got that whisper feature lets them know where it's coming from, and then of course you've given them a number of leads. You want to reach out and let them know that, hey, I'm the guy that keeps sending you all those customers over there.
Yeah.
And then you can find out. And frankly, I'll just tell you the way I approach it. I'll say, listen, I chose you because I thought you were one of the premier companies in the area.
Boom! There you go, man. Come on, keep talking, brother.
I want you to know too, please, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to have somebody taking all of these leads this week. Now, I want to come to you because I believe you're best qualified to handle it. However, my job is to find somebody who wants to take these customers and increase their business, and that's what I'm here for today. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
That's all you have to do. That is not a cold call. That is you helping them out. They're going to respect it and see that you've actually gone the distance and already done the work and you're getting results. I mean, that is the best way. Now, here's my problem with that. And that's not a problem with that, though, with most people who wants to go out and they want to get the business first. They want to get, but they don't have any proof or anything. And I tell people all the time, you got to go rank something, get the calls coming in, then go to the owner and say, look here, because then you got an easy plate to fill. It's easy. It's simple, man. I mean, their competition, say, hey, I'm going to go to your competition or whatever. You don't have to be like that, but you can just put it in those words.
Right. Well, here's another thing, too, that you might be able to use, and I found this works really nicely. When somebody asks about, well, who do you have? Well, Lim, I understand that you want proof. However, we have to treat everybody's relationship as personal and confidential, and we do reciprocal non-DA with every client we have. What I can tell you is if you go and look for this term, you're going to find my customer in the top of the results.
Just like that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And it's very, you're not confrontational at all. You know,
Nope.
You don't have to be, but, you know, first of all, they're going to respect that that's coming from a position of strength. You're not coming from a position of weakness in that point. They don't want to do business with weak people. They're looking for the strongest person they can get, you know, in that industry to work with them. And obviously, that foot in the door, or whatever you want to call it, once you're there, you're going to be their go-to person. They will,
every single time. They
will come back to you, regardless if it's related to what you do or not, because they've got confidence in what you're doing. They're going to come to you for, you know, an opinion, if nothing else. They're going to let you know, that they evaluate and appreciate, you become a silent partner, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
I know several people in this industry now who've actually become true silent partners because they provided this service as their initially foot in the door strategy. They end up becoming a part owner in the industry. So going from getting X number of dollars per lead, you're making a piece of the pie all the way across the board.
You see, and that's one of those things that as you develop your confidence and your business practice, you know that, okay, instead of me getting paid per lead, I want a piece of their company or a piece of their stock or whatever. I want to be able to pay my child's college with this. You know, that we're all getting paid, family decisions, whatnot. And you know what? You're keeping a simple approach. I mean, if the listeners do not hear what you're saying today about this, then you're just dead. You just might as well just keep struggling. I'm sorry to say that because what you have just laid out is a perfect, simple plan for anyone to go out and do what we're talking about doing.
Well, Lim, a lot of the small business owners, your pizza shops and mom and pop type operations, there's absolutely nothing wrong with people that have earned their way. They may have started, in the back carrying out the trash, and now they end up owning their business out there. They want somebody that, first of all, they can trust, that they feel not going to lie to them, and the fact that you have earned that respect from them, you don't have turnover in your relationships with people like that.
Right.
I just when dealers call us about my primary business, I tell them right up front, I'm not interested in a 30-day relationship. If that's what you're looking for, I'm sorry, I'm wasting my time and yours. And on the local businesses, you have to get on a personal level with them. And what I mean by that is you're earning their respect. And you will be their go-to person, and they're going to tell their friends. Believe me, a roofer knows a plumber. A plumber knows a paint guy. I mean, they just all go hand in hand. And one of the things that I believe absolutely 100% in, I'm going to tell you, Lim, once I've shown you and I deliver what I've told you I can deliver, I'd appreciate you helping me grow my business by telling your friends and your co-workers or family members or your guys across the street or in the next town, because I'm not going to let them down. I'm going to show you I'm not going to let them down, so you don't have to worry about referencing me, man. I'm going to get the job done for you.
Wow. Simple again. Referrals, once you get the job done, give me a referral because you know I do good work and you know I'm not going to do them wrong. Man, that is awesome.
Well, the simpler you can make your approach to them, man, they know they've got so many people that walking in every day out there that they know are nothing but hucksters, and you have to be real with these people, and they're successful business people. They didn't get there by being stupid.
No.
They can figure out real quick, do you know your stuff, and do they feel like you can deliver it? And that's why I go back to I want to reassure them that I'm not putting their business on the street. Okay.
Yes.
That's why I come out and say something about the mutual non-disclosure, which means I can't tell, you can't tell.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And I'm protecting you. I'm not putting your business on the street, and you can take that to the bank.
Man. Let's go back a little bit on cold calls. Have you built a team around you, Tim? Obviously, it sounds like you have. You have a team. What is your kind of, not giving away all your secrets, but your structure with your team that you've built?
Well, we work the same way, whether it's me or them doing it. We're going to let technology be our friend.
Awesome.
One of the things that I've talked to your partner about there, and don't know what he's thinking about on it, but one of the things that I've been doing a lot of research on that I think would be an incredible tool for our business is a real video marketing email. In other words, it's not going to be a cold call, but it's going to make it personal to them. You can generate a video in a generic nature and then send it to everybody on the list. One of the things that you can do is look for people that have unverified listings, whether it be Yelp or Google Plus or whatever, and you can shoot a little 2-minute video about something like that, and you want to use the same approach you do as far as what I was talking about using the phone tracking, is let them know that we're looking for a partner in this area that we can help to grow their business, and I've sent this out to every plumber in Dallas, Texas, and I'm going to find a partner this week. I'd like for it to be you, and they can't tell that video is not made for them. I'm not calling them by name, but they don't know that video has not been made by them. Right now, from what I've seen, everything is you can make that video, you can host it privately on YouTube. You can take a screenshot. I like it in when you do it like in YouTube Live, the image is a little bit bigger. It's not that little tiny thing, but it's a little bit bigger, image. Right. And just capture the first page where you can see the play button. And then you're going to want to make sure, obviously, it links to your video. But I think that would be extremely powerful and very soft sell approach and zero cold calling.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to stop you right there because yeah, well, you know what? I do as many video emails as I do cold calls, and then believe it or not, it's almost my video emails get much more response than I do with my cold calls sometimes, and sometimes I just can't get through the gatekeeper. I can't get through anyone.
That's the whole purpose of doing this.
Yes, and see, you're on to something. That's why it's like you and I have been talking to something. I'm like, where does this guy come from? But yes, you're right. Every time I do a video email, it's unique. They watch it. It's simple. It's really fast. You're getting to the point. And if you have something like a call tracking telling that you're going to set them up whatever this week, that's perfect information for them because they're already aware of what's going to happen. And if it does go on, then you're like, boom. I'm telling you right now, man, video emails are so important. I've landed some good and easy and simple clients. And it's like, hey, and it takes time sometimes. So like, my name is Lemmy Moore. This is what I do. I've been looking at your business. This is what we, and they love it, man. And all of them have said, I loved your video. Because no one out there are sending video emails these days, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they're still under a rock. Who knows?
Well, they'll get 10, 15, 20 solicitation phone calls a day, and you're right. The gatekeepers, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
So you're spinning your wheels. And if you want to attack big markets, like Dallas, there's a big market out there. It's impossible to cover the market, face to face. There may be clients you need to get face to face with. If they got a big enough checkbook, they can get face to face with me. That's not a problem.
Right.
I just think that, again, from the general nature of the industry, I believe that a less confrontational approach, there's not many people who enjoy the cold call. They're always at a negative connotation to it. But I feel very strongly that in the video, you become somewhat personal to them.
Yes,
you know about it. Now, Lim, how do you present that? Tell me your process in terms of the video. Are you doing it similar to what I was suggesting, or do you have a different method that's more efficient?
No, well, it would be nice to do something like you said, a mass email that's kind of generally that's toward everyone. But what I do is I find the person I'm trying to prospect, I find everything about them, what they're doing. I'll call it, y'all can look back at this Cup of Joe session way back. I'll call it the minor stalking syndrome. It's where I want to know everything about their life, the music they listen to, the movies they love. I might put these subliminal things inside the video. That way it captures them. They're like, wait a minute, I know that song, I love it. And they get so caught up. That's how, I don't know if everyone else does it, but that's how I do it. And I keep it on a personal basis. I mean, I got to find them LinkedIn, everything. I got to know everything about them before I gain their business, before I do a video email. And once I do that, I put it all together, they watch it, and they love it because everything feels so personal to them. They trust me already.
Right.
And I don't want to tell them that till later. I'm like, hey, you know that video you watched? Did you hear that music? They're like, yeah, I know it's that music. That was that music you like. You said you loved it on Facebook. I did my research. They're like, right. You're a smart man, Lem. But it would be nice to have some type of, like you're saying, video software system that you can send mass emails out to people that was, like what you're saying. You're on the right page, man. You are.
Well, when I say mass emails, there'll be one video, but that because it's made generic in nature,
yes,
you can personalize the individual email to them.
Yes.
You could. I'm assuming you could probably do it with short codes to pick up the first name. You know what I'm saying? People do that, but having a nice image in the email, because I've seen a couple programs out there, and I would say the size of the image they're sending in the email is maybe like 2 by 2 or something along those lines.
Right.
And, the other one, I'm just going to guess, when you look at it inside of YouTube, like when you're doing your setup for your live broadcast, that image in there is, I'm going to guess, probably about 5 inches by maybe 3 or something. It's just and it's got that big red circle with the play arrow in there, and they're going to click on it.
Right.
And of course, you want to make sure that you've got some sort of tracking pixels are open so you know when they've opened it.
Yes, you have to know that.
Right.
I mean, for each email, you have to know if your people opened it or not, because otherwise, like for example, if I know that someone has opened my email and they've watched the video as well, and no one has contacted me back, I will do a follow-up sequence with that. And I'll immediately say, hey, I know you guys opened up the email. I'm not sure if you understood this approach, but I have a limited time. I want to make sure you understand this, blah, 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 Yeah.
Still very low profile. See, that's my approach, but I'm a damn tiger when I get a hold of them. I'm not going to let them go. But that low profile is going to always catch them off guard. They're used to a lot of pushy people,
Right.
There are different ways of pushing people.
Yes. Wow. Man. That is awesome. That is so awesome. So, how do you feel about the suit and tie?
Well, I think yours looks good. I won't be in one. When it gets above 60 degrees, I'm in shorts and t-shirts.
I had to throw that one in there, brother. We were talking earlier about ties and suits. How he was like, I used to wear it every day. I was like, he's like, not anymore.
For almost 30 years, I lived in a suit, about 16 hours a day.
Oh, my goodness. I love it, love it, love it. All right, well, man, we've come to that point now. I mean, you have been fabulous. Wow, you hit everything on the nail, and I'm sure people are going to have some questions for you. Get ready, Tim. I know you're a busy man. They're going to be knocking on your door through Facebook and all that stuff. Hey, Tim, what about this? What about this? Guys, I want you to be very respectful for his time because I mean, he's a giving guy. He loves to give things to people because it's just karma. I get it. But, you know, at the same time, he's a busy man running a very, very successful company. Tim, is there anything else? I think I muted Bill a while ago because I think he was drinking some milk and cookies or something. I don't know. But is there anything else you want to give out?
Hey, I was just wondering.
Oh, there you are.
It might have been snoring after being up so late.
Oh, I think I accidentally muted him again. Hold on. I got to bring you back, Bill.
Hey.
All right. There you go. There you go. There was some noise going on, brother. I didn't know what was going on. I had to get you muted.
Well, I'm driving now, so.
Right. Bill, is there anything you want to add?
No, guys, Tim is an amazing guy, if you guys haven't figured this out by now. And every time we talk, I learn something new, and it shocks me more. So, you know, it's good. It's good. That's what you need. You need people that stretch you.
You know, that's funny because Bill and I, we talk every day, and I remember him saying, Tim did this, Tim did that. And I'm thinking it was the other Tim. I'm like, which Tim are you talking about? I was like, my Tim would never say that. He doesn't know anything about that. How does he know about that? He's like, no, Tim Parker. I'm like, Tim? Oh, my goodness.
Well,
Exactly.
I don't really know all the format here. You're limited to an hour's time in terms of the broadcast?
Yeah, I try to keep it between, 50 minutes to an hour, But you got something else to say, go ahead.
I was going to ask you if anyone had a question that had already been brought up that you can see that you really would like to get addressed so everybody can hear the answer. I'm good. I'll be here as long as you need me.
See, you said
cool.
If we want to answer, I don't want to give you. I had a question, and I don't want to ask this question
I thought don't ask unless you really want to know.
Yes. And I was like, I better not ask him that question because that guy might be watching. So I was like, But there was a question about the video email section that we were talking about. If you used a certain video type style, which we're talking about, like a video emailing system. And this guy was saying, my brother Doug was saying how he thought it had some issues, but he wanted to know if you were using it. And I didn't want to really give out that name because I was thinking, Tim's going to answer this, and I didn't want to have any issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, regardless of if it's a product or not, the truth is the truth, like I said.
Right.
So, listen, like I said, ask away.
All right, so he's asking me here again. So let me ask you this. Have you used the video prospecting system?
I was hoping you would ask me, brother.
I love it.
Well, first I want to say that I think Mark Helton does a fabulous job in many areas. He's very forward-thinking in some areas, but when that product was created, it's got too many kinks in it.
That's what I heard.
I hope Mark's not listening. I don't mean it too bad, brother. It's a brilliant idea, but it's too many moving parts to it. And if he were to come back and revisit it and find a way to streamline it, that product would actually go out and do a lot of the stuff that right now is being done manually. In other words, I think it's a good idea to go out and you can find a service that will do what I call a snapshot.
Right.
That will show like citations that actually rank their SEO. And there's a number of different services and products out there.
Right.
And it also would go out and get a screenshot of their competitor that was always above them in there. But man, it takes a lot. I've got the program, but I find that you can do it without using a program a lot better. You can use little things like Jing to do your screen capture, or if you want to go and do a little, you can't make them long because the idea here is to keep it to, you don't want 3 minutes is a long time, in a video email. So the shorter you can get it and still get your point across, the better. But you can go in and take using a free tool, Jing or Screencast or whatever you might have, and go out and get that information and make it part of the video. I think you probably would have to have some, and believe me, when it comes to software, I want something that's no-brainer. I've learned just enough about Camtasia to be absolutely dangerous, and you can do those things pretty darn quickly in Camtasia and churn them out. But I think Mark was on the cusp of putting something together, but it has too many kinks for the average person to be able to do. So it looks like me and, I'm sorry I didn't get the guy's name.
Doug.
I think same page. Man, when I saw that thing, we're a mixed company, so I'll just say I got excited. I won't say what else I was thinking.
Right.
It was something that made my eyes get big when I first saw it, I can tell you that.
That's awesome, and you're right. Screencast, I use that as well, and it takes a little time, but I try to make everything format where it's perfect, where I'm just getting the message out to my potential client, and I'll go from there. So that's what you do, man. I mean, some people want a faster way. I'm sure that software is a faster way, but with me, I want to make sure I detail it to the person. That's the hardest part. I want to make sure that they know that I am sending it directly to them. Like if I was going to show you something, Tim, I will make sure that you would know this was only for you and no one else. It ain't just like me trying to, showboat for other people as well. This was completely for you only,
It seems like it, and you guys probably have the contacts on the technical side of things, but it seems like to me there might be a way to combine these and using something like YouTube Live where you're getting the quality and there's no expense involved with it really. So maybe some sort of, you guys can give that some thought. I really think that we're onto something here, and I think it would be an incredible tool for us as offline marketers to be able to use something like that, so you didn't have to be sweating bullets, walking into a local business and you're getting the brush off. I mean, your time is valuable too. And
right.
This is a soft sell approach. I know that long term that will keep you in the hearts and minds of that business owner. And once you've established that relationship and credibility, you've got a partner for as long as you want to have a partner.
That is so true, man. You've got to establish that relationship, and if you don't, you're just a number. Right. And they will see that you're just a number, so they're not even going to even spend any time of the day with you. I was telling Bill the other day that Bill and I, he's part of a lot of my business, but how I'm doing some negotiations now with a new company that has just purchased the company that I was doing advertising for. That's big dollars. I let you know there's big dollars being involved, but they got rid of a lot of their contracts. And so they kept only 4, and one of those 4 was one of our contracts, which there's a reason why, because the way we went to that previous owner and told him, and created that relationship, that lets you know something there. And I really do believe it's not only the work we provided, but the relationship we had with the company, because there was owners who wanted us to do stuff outside of that business as well for them. So I'm thinking that is so important. You have to have that relationship with them. Other than that, you're just going to be a number.
That's right. That's right. You got to put a face and a voice with the brand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tim Parker, y'all. Let me tell you, man. This has been awesome, man. Brother, I'm gonna tell you what. I still had a lot of stuff I wanted to ask you, but I got to bring you back later on, because we didn't even get into the SEO stuff that I was going to ask you, because I know you're big time in that, and I'm like, wow, it's already been an hour, really?
It's really been fun, Lim, and you guys are some of the good guys, a bunch of scallywags. I know you're not going to run and hide from something. If there's a question, you guys are going to answer it, and because otherwise I'll call Bill's mom.
There you go.
But seriously, you guys have brought a valuable service that really has helped me tremendously in my own business. And if there's anything I can do for this group here in terms of if I can contribute something that might help one person, I'm certainly willing to do that.
Awesome, awesome, man. So we appreciate you, man.
Yes.
Take care of the lovely wife that you say, the young lovely wife, whatever. Have fun, man. This is all we have right now, and I want everyone to know out there. I mean, you sound like a driven guy. You have just been doing it from day one, which is good. And you know, it doesn't matter where you are in life, as long as you take action, something's going to happen. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And Lim, I'm one of those people that I'm not ever going to retire. I told my wife that when it happens, they'll probably come nail me in right here at my desk.
There you go. Hey, you know, there's logic to that. There really is. I mean, believe it. When you stop stretching and growing, you die. It's that simple.
Well, let me, if I could, just a final thought.
Go ahead.
You know, I've been very fortunate in this life, and sometimes hard work, you know, brings good fortune. And I was very successful in the retail car business, but I didn't like it. I hated the situation where there was no loyalties, just a general nature of the industry. I absolutely look forward every single day to get up and come in my office and get to work. I cannot wait to get here. And then when I'm at home at night, my typical day starts about 5:30 and ends about 11:30.
Right.
I've got, my wife calls it NASA. I've got in my home office, it's virtually a copy of my regular office here, so I can do what I need to do from there. And
that's awesome.
One thing that I would tell you is really, everybody, life is really too short. I'm not trying to give you a lecture, but I probably got a few more years on most of you out there. But for the first time in my life, I'm absolutely loving what I'm doing here, and I truly look forward to it. So to give you and your family the best possible life you can, pick something that you enjoy doing. You're going to be more successful if you enjoy doing it. And if you don't, find something. You know, do something that's going to give you and your family what you want them to have. And I know each and every one of us out there want to give our family better than we had, and that's my goal in life, to be able to do that. But I absolutely love doing what I'm doing, and I can't ever see stopping it.
Wow, that's
awesome.
Passion, people. That is passion. If you're have not been listening to your motivational books, that's the first thing they say. You've got to love what you're doing or do what you love.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. With that being said, guys, go to Saturday Cup of Joe live. You'll see the replay on here for the next 4 or 5 days, and then you'll also see. Just go to Saturday Cup of Joe, the replay of this. You'll see Tim on there. I'd like to thank Rebecca Happy for putting this all together. She reaches out to everyone. She does a remarkable job. You know I love you, girl. I'd like to thank Bill Walsh as being great. Bill was my hero this week, and Bill, I was sick yesterday. We had to handle some stuff, and Bill's like, "Where's Lim?" And Bill was caught up in an appointment himself, but Bill, like I said, Walsh was my hero. We had some challenging things this week, but you know what? You can't stop us. All right. Tim, you are awesome, my man. Thank you. How do you want people to get a hold of you in case they want to have some questions?
They can reach me on Facebook. I keep it open 24/7 here, and you guys are welcome to give out my email if you want. I don't care.
Nah.
Whatever. But
that's a secret weapon. We're not giving out your email. What's wrong with you?
You know, I truly, you know, if I can help one person to be successful that maybe is having challenges now, I feel like I've done something to contribute back to the group, because you guys have certainly helped me, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that comment, and thank you for the love as well. All right, brother, have a blessed and grateful day. You as well, Bill. Everyone out there, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Don't just get off this call right now. Get on the replay, watch it again, and then get to work. With that being said, I'm Lim Moore. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.